what exactly is it that the foundation you're representing does?
So what the AFYA Foundation does is we collect unused donated medical equipment and supplies from hospitals throughout the United States, and then we ship them abroad to sites in need.
And have you been helping a lot of countries so far?
We have worked in over 60 countries worldwide so far, and we find partners who we can work with to build capacity over time. So we started in 2008, and to this day we have sent over 6 million pounds of supplies worldwide.
So now it's Greece for you. What are the news in New York about the refugee crisis in Greece?
The news is that it's pretty dire, and that there is an enormous need for supplies and support and human resource help. So what AFYA wants to do is meet with medical providers in the islands, in Lesbos, in Chios, in Samos. We met with people in Athens yesterday and really get a hearty list and a sense of what people need to deliver care. So we're going to visit everything from the beachfront where refugees are arriving to the hospital and ask people, what are the supplies you need that would make this easier for all of you?
Would you say that people in the US are aware of the situation in Europe, I mean the refugee crisis?
I think they are aware. I think it is far away, so it doesn't feel as close as it does for people who are living here. This is very real for people here. It is part of every single day, and part of what we want to do is bring this back to America and share these stories and gather more support for the people who are here.
So you will be heading to Lesbos soon.
Yes.
What do you expect to see there? How do you expect the situation to be? I mean, you have a great experience in such situations, so what do you expect?
I think the last time we were in a crisis of this scale was after the earthquake in Haiti, where we just saw devastation everywhere in Port-au-Prince and had to figure out very quickly what are the supplies that we have access to that could really change components of healthcare delivery for people who are immediately disabled, to the ongoing provision of medical care in these already challenged hospitals. I think here we're going to see some pretty devastating stuff, and we're preparing ourselves for that. But through the devastating stuff, we have to figure out what are the supplies that would make that transition from water to land to a hospital to transfer to another camp easier and more manageable, because supplies really can make a difference for people. Everything from a warming blanket to cardiac and respiratory supplies to resuscitate children at the hospital. So our focus is what is the stuff that's needed to make a change in that moment and long term.
As you probably know, I guess, Lesbos and Chios and all these islands of Greece are actually just stops for the refugees. They're not staying there, they just go past them and, you know, head to Europe. So I guess that makes these islands to need a specific type of equipment, you know, because people are not going to stay there like permanently.
I totally agree. So what we're getting in terms of lists, for example, one of the items that we're being asked for over and over again are defibrillators to resuscitate people. We're being asked for pediatric manual resuscitators, those masks that you can help a child breathe with manually. We're getting urgent care supply requests from the islands. From Athens, it's a much longer term basic medical primary care provision that we're being asked for. So that's a good point. The products are going to be very different that we're going to send in depending on where they're ultimately going to be distributed.
Mm-hmm. And how did you decide to get to Greece? I mean, was it the news? How did you take the decision to come here and help Lesbos and all the other islands? I mean, these people who get to these islands.
This is at a point of a colossal crisis. And for AFYA, we do long-term, ongoing capacity development projects. And when a crisis in the world occurs, whether it's a natural disaster, or it's an outbreak of horrible cholera, or it is something like the refugee crisis, it is impossible to be a bystander because we do this well. We do this kind of work really well, and it's a moral obligation to respond and offer support. There's no way to just watch this and not do something.
Tell us more about AFYA.
So what we are going to be doing in Greece is going to be quite unusual and I think very special. Mr. Salapataris from the Solace Group has been extraordinarily generous supporting our needs assessment trip here today and is going to be a partner of ours in terms of a longer-term plan for supporting the refugee crisis and the delivery of healthcare supplies within Greece. The hospitals we're going to impact are going to benefit Greek citizens and refugees. So it is a much bigger picture for us here. That's number one. And we're going to be working with the IOCC to help us distribute all of the supplies that are going to be coming into this country. So this is a beautiful partnership that we're establishing. AFYA does the work in New York, garners support, collects the supplies that are being requested in country. The Solace Group is our unbelievable partner here, and then the IOCC provides support that we desperately need to make sure that everything we are doing is going to be distributed. So we are hoping that people in America who are from Greece have comfort with a very strategic, very well integrated supporting mechanism that's coming out of the US for their home country, and we plan on being involved in this for a while.
When AFYA sends equipment to a place that needs help and etc., can you recollect it back later and send it somewhere else if there is much more need there? Or does it stay there permanently?
It stays there permanently.
Okay.
So we pack 40-foot sea freight containers, and what we do that's pretty unique is we're a holistic collector and shipper. So what that means is these containers will have everything on them from rain and winter boots for children being rescued from the water and being redressed, to medical exam tables, to pediatric resuscitators. We take a comprehensive list and we try to find as many of those products as possible through our donor network at home, and that's what we ship abroad. So people are getting what it is that they need, very specifically.
Okay. Another great major problem is that lots of people that come through Turkey in the Greek islands die in the way because of the way they're being transported. Is there any way someone should probably help, Turkey to at least send these people here with more safety?
That's a given. That's a given. It's inexcusable to put people on these boats with hay coming out of life jackets. They're not even real life jackets, the majority of them. That is something that most of us can't even comprehend. So we agree. Our role begins at beachside because that's where we can have an impact. So for our work to be effective, we have to focus on where we can really make a change, and we know, without a doubt, it's in our control to make a difference from water up to land. So we have been really blessed at the beginning of this effort. The Jewish Coalition for Disaster Relief funded our first massive set of shipments. So 40 pallets have been funded for distribution into countries. So that is fantastic. That's one. The Greek Orthodox Church in New York and the Orthodox Church in Athens have been unbelievably supportive and helpful with us, as well as the IOCC. So this is really an exquisite interfaith effort of many coming together to make a quality of life and a rescue possible for these refugees.